Now on CoastTV News.
It's a quiet and milder start to the day, but we're watching a system to our west, and that will gather strength and come our way tomorrow, promising rain and wind for Wednesday, making it a first alert weather day. I'll talk about the impacts and timing coming up.
Marijuana momentum in Georgetown. We have what is being promoted by Delaware's first ever marijuana commissioner.
Reaction to absentee voting, what Delaware Republican and Democrat leaders are saying after the big decision by the state Supreme Court.
Dredging is done. The early feedback from fishermen, and what is next for the Army Corps of Engineers.
This is CoastTV News Today.
Welcome to our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning. I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Paige Marley. It's now Tuesday, February 27th, 2024.
And Paige, we are in the final days of February yesterday, and I'm looking forward to today. Doesn't feel like February.
That's for sure. But maybe the early beginnings of March might feel a little wintry.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of thought once we hit meteorological spring, March 1st, hey, Bob, that we would see some of the more spring-like temperatures.
No, I don't count March as a spring month. I know
No.
even Bob just reacts in the corner.
Bob's like these guys.
Why don't we just, Bob, you can chastise
Yeah.
me. Let's just go over to you right now.
Hey, Bob.
Oh, gosh. We're going down this road again with March. March 1st is the start of meteorological spring. We've got the basketball tournaments and the crocus is breaking through ground. So it's getting closer to spring. And this morning certainly feels like it with temperatures in the 40s and low 50s. We've got a bit of a southwest breeze, and that will pick up during the course of the day. And right now on the satellite picture, it's mostly cloudy skies. It's dry, a few showers offshore. We actually have a warm front lifting through right now. It looks like a trough there on the map, but farther to the west is a stronger system that moves in tomorrow. Here's Futurecast this morning. We'll be in and out of the clouds, mid-50s by 9 a.m. By noon into the mid-60s. Winds start picking up. 66 in Millsboro for a high, so 60s inland, probably 50s close to 60 along the coast. Then we'll see showers building in as we go through this evening. Going for a jog, we're looking at temperatures in the 40s and 50s this morning. I think we keep it dry, and then the low 60s later this morning and by noon.
Bob, we have an update on a story that we have been covering for you, recreational marijuana and how our communities plan to deal with the option of allowing weed-based businesses. Last night, Georgetown Town Council heard from Robert Koop. That's Delaware's first marijuana commissioner.
Yeah, he spoke a lot about how recreational marijuana businesses would impact you and towns like Georgetown.
Koop's presentation included how business licenses could be approved, as well as the different economic opportunities for both the state as a whole and for local towns like Georgetown.
Now, as for when those licenses for marijuana business licenses could be distributed, the Marijuana Commissioner's website says the next steps are for the commissioner to adopt rules for distributing those licenses by this coming July.
Also, we just want to reiterate that the town council has not made any decision on whether to allow or to ban the sale of pot.
Now, Robert Koop has served the state for more than 35 years. As the state's first marijuana commissioner, his job is to enforce the Delaware Marijuana Control Act and create rules for a state's marijuana industries. Past roles include being the commissioner for Delaware's prisons. He also was the secretary of Delaware Department of Safety and Homeland Security. Koop was also with Delaware State Police and was the chief of staff at the Department of Justice.
Koop's office is taking a step to create rules for the recreational marijuana industry. You can share your feedback on the proposed rules for businesses that will sell it. This move comes after the legalization of recreational marijuana for people 21 and older last year. People have until March 29th to review the draft regulations online and weigh in.
We have reaction after Delaware's Superior Court struck down the state's early voting and permanent absentee voting system. A Delaware Superior Court agreed with a lawsuit claiming the laws violated the state constitution, which says elections must be on a specific day. The lawsuit was filed by the chair of the Delaware Republican Party and the Public Interest Legal Foundation. And it's not the only rule against newer Delaware voting laws. In 2022, the state Supreme Court found the universal mail-in voting and same-day registration in the state was also unconstitutional.
House Republicans in the state, they say they agree with the decision, but important to note, they say they have no issue with in-person early voting. Their main objection was the statute that violated the state constitution. With that argument, they are happy with the court decision, saying, quote, "We applaud the court for validating the arguments we made 5 years ago." Republican leaders say they will introduce an amendment to implement early voting in line with the law.
Now, Delaware Democrats claim this decision will negatively impact voters, especially those who have issues getting to the polls. Delaware's Democratic leadership specifically referencing low-income voters, single parents, and those with disabilities. Democratic Congresswoman Lisa Blunt Rochester saying, quote, "Free, fair, and more accessible elections make a stronger democracy. I will stop at nothing to protect it." Now, it's also worth adding that the ACLU is urging for an appeal and a stay of the current rule so early voting can happen in the upcoming elections.
A Hurlock man was arrested on felony gun charges in Laurel on Sunday. Delaware State Police say 38-year-old Howard Quails was pulled over for an expired tag on the Ford 500 he was driving. Troopers say they sniffed out marijuana in the car. They found it, along with an open beer in the center console. Police also said they found a handgun with a scratched-out serial number in the driver's waistband. He's now in jail on more than $12,000 cash bond.
The city of Rehoboth Beach considering more fee increases and more next week. So if you get a parking ticket, commissioners are considering shortening your time to appeal from 30 days to just 7 days. They also may raise property tax rates and wastewater rates. They say they need more money, claiming they're short by nearly $4 million for their planned budget of $37 million for the next year.
Equipment is gone. Boaters are on the go in the Lewis Canal. Dredging finally complete after a month-long delay. The project moved about 40,000 cubic yards of sediment for the price of $1.8 million. That's according to the Army Corps of Engineers. One person CoastTV News spoke with says the difference is already noticeable.
If you got in too close, you'd catch up on a mud bar that was piled up there, and sometimes it would make you stop. So you had to make it a lot wider. And yesterday, it's just nice and smooth and easy as it can be.
And now that the project is done, Lewis is looking to do more dredging. Steve Roche with the Army Corps of Engineers has confirmed that plans are underway for a separate contract focused east and south of the Freeman Highway, which is right where this project left off.
Now, while we're speaking of these projects, the Indian River currently in the process of being dredged. Anticipated benefits include protection against flooding and erosion, enhanced wildlife habitat, and increased recreational opportunities. Dredge It, the company working on the project, says this work will be complete by 2025.
It is primary day in Michigan, and another test for Nikki Haley, who's trying to hang on the Republican side despite trailing Donald Trump in the polls.
Now, for Democrats, the battleground state could be a barometer for President Biden, who faces severe criticism there for his handling of the Israel-Hamas war. NBC's Bree Jackson shows us a look at the presidential race as another state's primary is underway.
Thank you so much. It's great to see everybody.
It's primary day in Michigan. Nikki Haley vowing to stay in the fight despite coming off her primary loss in South Carolina to former President Trump.
Americans want a voice, and we're giving them that voice. And as long as Americans want me to be that voice, I will continue to fight for them.
The stakes are also high for President Biden. He's facing pushback on the ballot over his handling of the Israel-Hamas war.
I think there will be a sizable number of votes for uncommitted. I think that it is every person's right to make their statement about what's important to them.
During an appearance on the Late Night Show with Seth Meyers, President Biden says he believes there is a path forward in the war with difficulty.
The hostages being held must be released. Ramadan's coming up, and there's been an agreement by the Israelis that they would not engage in activities during Ramadan as well.
The president facing concerns overseas and here at home. President Biden planning to visit the southern border this week on the same day that former President Trump will also be in Texas delivering remarks.
I've been planning to go Thursday. What I didn't know is my good friend apparently is going.
The dueling trip comes as lawmakers on Capitol Hill battle over a bipartisan border security agreement. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
We're just getting started in this hour of CoastTV News Today.
Coming up, more spirits at more events. We'll tell you about the new regulations Berlin recently approved that increases alcohol options.
And pushing back on poverty in the first state. We're telling you about an organization that aims to help families in need.
On Dagsboro vacancies, which governing boards the town says that they are lacking staff. All that and more as CoastTV News Today continues.
Now is the perfect time to feed suet to your birds to add fat so that it'll help them get through the cold winter nights. My Backyard carries all the products you need to keep your feathered friends healthy and safe. We also have a huge selection of quality hand-picked birdhouses, baths, seeds, unique gifts, and decor for expert and novice bird lovers alike. So come on in. I'd love to answer your questions so that you can have the best birding experience ever. See you at My Backyard in Ocean Pines, where it's all about the birds and more.
For every season, every weather moment, stay ahead with the CoastTV First Alert Weather Phone. Just call 443-880-9100. Your forecast just a call away. Sponsored by the law offices of Baird, Mandalas, Brockstead, and Federico.
Honesty, integrity, bravery. Here is what we can face together.
Incoming.
Let's go.
I've had this policy of not mixing my work and romantic life until now.
I have no doubts you will make a great leader.
It's like you said, Chief. Change is inevitable. I'm no good without the job. You know that.
You've got the team. I've got you.
Chicago Wednesday, new on NBC and Peacock.
Get ready to soar with the Hawks. Delmarva Sports Network is your exclusive home for UMES Hawks basketball. From the first whistle to the final buzzer, DSN will take you courtside. Experience the excitement of both the men's and women's teams with every dribble, steal, and three-pointer. To see the schedule or watch the games, go to delmarvasportsnetwork.com or download the DSN app. Join us all season long, only on the Delmarva Sports Network, your exclusive home for UMES Hawks basketball.
Cheers to 50 years of the players. Here's to the countless moments that make this the PGA Tour's gold standard, the Players' Championship, on NBC and Peacock.
6:12 on our Tuesday morning. Skies brightening on our Bay Health Cam Dover right now. 46 degrees. Looking at partly cloudy skies. We've got temperatures in the 40s and 50s out the door. So much more comfortable than it has been. We've got a bit of a southwesterly breeze. And we're looking at, we'll call it mostly cloudy skies, some thicker clouds back to the west. So we'll be in and out of the clouds throughout the day as we'll continue to warm up. If you're taking a ferry ride from Cape Lewis to Lewis, what did I say? Cape May to Lewis, or other way around. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies this morning. Temperatures in the 50s, warming into the 60s later this morning into early afternoon, and pretty breezy as well.
Bob, we're good. All right. We have an update for you. If you have children in the Indian River School District, don't forget tomorrow all schools will open 2 hours late this Wednesday, February 28th. The delay is for the staff to participate in professional learning activities. The district says there will be no morning preschool. Happening now, Dagsboro accepting applications for open positions on the town's Board of Adjustment. Some qualifications for this voluntary position include that you have to live in town. You also have to have knowledge of the problems of urban and rural development. Applications must be completed at Town Hall no later than March 18th at 4:30 p.m.
The Environmental Protection Agency is considering slowing down requirements for automakers to sell more electric vehicles, which could dial back plans to move away from gas-powered vehicles. However, industry insiders say there are still a few factors holding back sales. Those include the higher prices, the lack of public charging stations, and general confusion about the substantial tax credits available for buyers. The Odysseus moon lander expected to stop communicating with Earth today. Intuitive Machines says it's intended to collect data until the lander's solar panels were no longer exposed to light. They believe that'll happen sometime today, which is earlier than expected. It's not yet clear how this will affect the number of images and the information that'll be sent down to Earth. Still ahead this morning, pushing back on poverty, we'll tell you how one organization is helping those in need find and afford housing in the first state.
Sun's up in less than a half hour. We're seeing the brightening skies on our Boardwalk Plaza Cam. 50 in Rehoboth right now, and it will be a mild day. A few showers later on, but more significant wind and rain for Wednesday. It's the first alert day there. I'll break down the impacts next on Futurecast, coming up in a couple of minutes.
Delmarva Sports Network is on the lookout for a social media promotions producer. Manage our digital scene and craft content that captures the spirit of local sports. Successful candidates have at least 5 years of experience and a passion for sports to produce thrilling videos that engage and inspire. Join our team and make a difference in how sports stories are told. Apply today at DraperMediaJobs.com. Draper Media is an equal opportunity employer.
It's now or never.
2 dead bodies in the name of free speech.
Nobody needs to die today.
This girl was targeted.
You come and see it by my daughter!
When you're undercover, one mistake and it's all over.
Can I go home now? That's not how this works.
Law and Order Thursday on NBC and Peacock.
Cheers to 50 years of the players. Here's to the jaw-dropping Eagles, 60-foot birdies,
Better than most.
and that one pesky seagull. Here's to making an entrance, making a statement,
It's not a shot you practice.
and making a splash. All at the PGA Tour's gold standard, the Players' Championship on NBC and Peacock.
The weather is brought to you by Spicer Brothers Construction. Born here to serve here.
It's tax refund season, so put your hard-earned money back into your #1 investment with help from Spicer Brothers.
Need a new lifetime roof, quality siding, energy-efficient windows, or even a beautiful new deck? We got you. Need new gutters or gutter helmet protection? We got you. Dreaming of a luxurious new bath or shower? We got you. Call today and learn how you can save up to 20% on your new project, plus enjoy no payments and no interest for 18 months.
Spicer Brothers, because you deserve the best.
We are approaching 6:16 a.m. and we are showing you a live look at Seaford. Bob, we mentioned it earlier, but boy, does it have like a spring-like feel on this Tuesday.
Yeah, it does. And it was a spring-like feel on Monday as well, Matt, with temperatures into the 60s. And we'll be doing that again today. Make sure you scan the QR code right there. It's important to have the Coast TV weather app as we head into a first alert weather day tomorrow with wind and rain. Here's our 5-day temperature trend. 66 today, 68 on Wednesday. There's a nice taste of spring. But then winter's back briefly by Thursday with a high of only 44. We're back into the low 50s Friday, then 58 on your Saturday. Out the door this morning, we're looking at temperatures in the 40s and low 50s, 51 in Millsboro, 48 in Delmar, Seaford at 49 degrees, and we've got a bit of a southwesterly breeze, and that wind will pick up throughout the day. As far as sky conditions, we'll call it partly cloudy. It is dry. Tough to see here, but there's actually a warm front through here that is lifting to the north, and that will usher in even warmer air throughout the day. More clouds back to the west. We'll see these clouds increasing with time, and you're starting to see showers across the Tennessee Valley. This area across the Midwest could be, well, the epicenter of severe weather for today, possibly tornadoes for them. But for us, we're looking at temperatures quickly rising into the upper 50s by 9:30, mid 60s by noon. And we're looking at cooler temperatures along the coast. Don't know about this cold, but you'll be a few degrees colder than inland areas, as inland areas will be into the mid 60s for today. The winds pick up. We'll see the showers picking up this evening, so make sure you have the umbrella. We'll see those showers continuing overnight. The wind's really strong out of the southwest, and temperatures extremely mild, only falling back into the mid-50s tomorrow morning. And then we're looking at more showers Wednesday morning. I think we get a break during the day as it remains very warm and breezy. But then here comes the main event, this cold front that moves through tomorrow evening. You can see all the red and orange indicating some brief heavy rain, maybe some rumbles of thunder and very strong winds as this moves through. Then the winds shift to the north and west. Still some showers hanging on around 9:30. Then that moves offshore, and then we see the temperatures absolutely plummeting after that, with temperatures falling into the 40s as winds are gusting over 30 miles per hour later today and tonight, and they're getting strong into Wednesday. Make sure those outdoor items are secured or brought inside. Wednesday morning, winds gusting over 40 miles per hour and still very strong into the afternoon out ahead of that front, and there's that front right there. Wind shift to the northwest and still strong winds behind the front. As far as rainfall amounts, we're looking at about, we'll say about a half inch to about an inch of rain. If you're under one of the heavier storms, well, I think you'll pick up more than that. Here's Here's your Paul Davis 10-day forecast. 66 today with showers. First alert day on Wednesday for rain, 68. Much colder Thursday, 44. 51 on Friday. And more showers into the weekend, 50s and lower 60s. And we keep it in the 50s and 60s the following week with on and off showers.
We'll take it, Bob. Thank you. Don't forget, Coast TV has a new Facebook page for the latest in news, exclusive content, and interactive discussions. Visit and follow our new page. Just head over to facebook.com/CoastTVNBC or scan that QR code right there and stay connected with us.
Right now, First State Community Action Agency is fighting poverty in Delaware. A presentation this week highlighted how the organization has been working with its partners in the community. The agency has 21 state and federally funded programs like housing counseling, home improvements, and emergency shelters. Congresswoman Lisa Blunt Rochester spoke at the event about legislation to fund some of these programs. Coast TV spoke to one family who benefits from the organization's help.
Being able to partner with a company like First State Community Action that will go to bat for you to help you to secure the funds to get down payment and closing cost assistance can make all the difference. And in our family, we are walking testimonies of that.
Other programs offer after-school programs, opioid outreach, and workforce development like culinary arts. We have a full list of these programs on CoastTV.com.
Coming up next on Coast TV News today, Berlin allowing you to have hard liquor at more town events. We're telling you about the regulations put in place to keep everyone safe. We'll be right back.
We're Coast Country, and we're Delmarva proud.
It all started with a food truck. A truck and a dream of bringing excellent street food to our community. That dream became Tiki Jack's as we know it today. From mouth-watering street tacos to our signature sandwiches and street-inspired entrees, Tiki Jack's is the ultimate destination for comfort food by the shore. Whether you're dining out with family or looking for a fun night out with friends, stop by Tiki Jack's at Rehoboth Beach today for all your street eats and brews.
Draper Media is searching for a full-time entry-level accountant. Successful candidates should have at least an associate's degree or equivalent experience. Candidates with experience in Sage Intacct will be given preference. It's an extremely detail-oriented job involving problem solving. Join the Draper Media team today as our next accountant with full benefits. Go to drapermediajobs.com to learn more and apply. Draper Media is an equal opportunity employer.
On Wheel, it's hard to keep your cool.
Where am I going, Dad? Where am I going?
When Pat makes your dreams come true.
Aruba! Costa Rica.
2 tickets to paradise.
Paradise is Maui.
Tuesday at 7 on Coast TV.
The Jeopardy! Tournament of Champions is heating up.
Once again, the game is close.
And these champs keep things spicy.
How big do you want to risk here?
As Salt and Pepper would say, let's push it.
Tuesday at 7:30 on Coast TV.
On the Jennifer Hudson Show, these grandparents are getting it in.
I want a marriage on fire.
Role playing will keep your man. I come out there like Xena Warrior.
And someone's getting major money.
Tuesday at 2 on Coast TV.
Berlin has made a change to the liquor laws governing events held in the community. You'll now be able to walk around with mixed drinks in hand in the same way you already could with beer or wine. This includes events like the Small Town Throwdown, the Fiddlers Convention, or Oktoberfest. But even with this new rule, officials have built in some protections.
What we've worked out, what I've worked with Cody at Forgotten 50 to devise, is a way to include those drinks pre-mixed, so there's no one pouring shots or mixing extremely strong drinks at the event.
This was a proposal first brought on by the council by the Berlin Chamber of Commerce. Town Council approved this change by a vote of 4-1.
This morning, the Maryland State Fire Marshal will continue the effort to determine what caused these tractor-trailers you see here that caught on fire in Easton Friday afternoon on Air Park Drive. You can see the 3 hoods of the trucks destroyed from the flames. Fire Marshal says the damage is estimated at $150,000. Fortunately, no one was hurt from the fire.
In 2023, Maryland saw a spike in wildfires, and those fires burned up more than double the 10-year average in terms of acres. That's according to the Maryland Forest Service. Just last year, nearly 200 wildfires scorched over 4,000 acres across the state. February 2023 marked the state's worst month for wildfires in terms of acreage. That was largely due to a single fire in Dorchester County that was estimated to have burned over 2,000 acres of marshland. Despite the increase, the Department of Natural Resources says that no one was hurt by wildfires and that no significant private property damage was reported to the Maryland Forest Service.
First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihey joins us again. Paige and Bob, let's just take in some of these temperatures today that will be in the 60s.
Just soak it in. Because we know it's not going to last forever. It's the battle of the seasons. We get some warm days, then we get some cool days as well. And we'll see temperatures about 15 degrees above average today. It will be mild with afternoon and evening showers. Southwest winds around 10 to 20 miles per hour. Georgetown and Millsboro around 66 today. Seaford and Laurel the same. A little cooler Rehoboth at 57 degrees. For the Eastern Shore, Easton, you should see highs around 64. Vienna 66. Federalsburg around 66. And farther south, I think 66 a popular number. Salisbury, Princess Anne, Pocomoke City, but cooler 50s from Chincoteague into Ocean City. We're going to see more active weather into your Wednesday. It's a first alert day for more rain and wind. I'll have much more on that and the impacts coming up in a few minutes.
Bob, also coming up after the break on Coast TV News today, Boeing safety panel. We're telling you what the FAA and airline officials are now recommending about safety concerns at Boeing.
Also, Supreme Court on social media. We will tell you about the laws regarding when companies can and cannot ban users.
And Delaware's marijuana commissioner gave a presentation in Georgetown on the newly legalized drug. We'll tell you what you need to know about what could be coming in that industry. Coast TV News today will be right back.
Get your camera ready to snap QR codes that reveal big savings during Toyota's President's Event, where special low APR financing can mean thousands in savings on a growing number of in-stock trucks, including half-ton Tundras with 4.99% APR, or off-road ready Tacomas with low 3.99% APR. Visit buyatoyota.com to find President's Event deals on your favorite vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
Draper Media is seeking a passionate field correspondent for our daily and commercially driven lifestyle and entertainment show, Coast Life. You'll provide live coverage, produce pre-recorded programs, and maintain a strong digital presence. Candidates must have a dynamic on-air personality, be innovative, and show versatility while working with our clients. Learn more and apply today at drapermediajobs.com. Draper Media is an equal opportunity employer.
93.5, The Beach.
Solo Cup Saturday night with me, Jared, 7 to 9 every Saturday on Coast Country, 103.9 and 106.3. Sponsored by Midshore Recyclers Incorporated.
This is Coast TV News Today.
February 27th, 2024. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Paige.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Paige Marley.
6:28 a.m. Yep. Paige, out of habit, getting ready for work, reach into the closet, got the winter coat.
Same.
As I was walking in today, I don't need this. I don't need something this heavy.
I don't think so, especially like if you have your suit jacket on. I have this like thick sweater on. Maybe, I still think a jacket's a good idea. But
I'm not...
A light.
Yeah, a lighter jacket.
Yeah.
Not that thick, heavy winter coat. Don't need it.
For sure. So put it away. Get your lighter jacket out, unless you get really cold really easily. But we'll bring in First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihey. Now, Bob, the light jacket, maybe an umbrella for later. A good idea?
That's a great idea. Yeah, this morning, if you are, wearing heavier clothes, you can just put the windbreaker over the top of that and call it good. And pack the umbrella, not for this morning, but for later this evening for showers. Out the door this morning, incredibly mild. Temperatures in the 40s and low 50s, as warm as 51 in Millsboro and Lewis, 47 in Delmar, 48 for you in Salisbury right now. We have a bit of a southwesterly breeze, light right now, but it'll be picking up throughout the day. As we're looking outside, we're seeing partly to mostly cloudy skies. Any kind of precipitation is offshore as we're looking at a warm front lifting to the north, and we've got thicker clouds building in from the west. So we will see increasing clouds, and that's out ahead of a strong system developing across the plains, and that is tomorrow's weather. But for today, we're in and out of the clouds, lower 50s at 8:30, and then by 11:30 already shooting into the 60s as the winds are picking up, mid to upper 60s for highs inland, and 50s close to 60 along the beaches, and then we'll see showers building in as we go through the evening hours and staying quite mild. Here's the bus stop forecast for the kiddos. Well, they can dress lightly. 47, it will be cool and breezy, and then increasing clouds this afternoon. Mild and a high of 64 heading home.
Thank you, Bob. We have more on marijuana in Georgetown, and Delaware's first ever marijuana commissioner at the center of the latest step in dealing with recreational weed.
Robert Koop gave a presentation to town council on how marijuana will impact the state as some important dates for the distribution of business licenses draw near. CoastTV's Charles Reinert shows us why he's hoping to speak again, but this time with other towns.
Taking the stand at the Georgetown Town Council meeting, Marijuana Commissioner Robert Koop says it's been a busy few months since he was appointed to the job.
It is legalized. It is here, and we have to deal with it. And I think since it is legalized, I think the best way to address it is through regulation, through ordinances, and accept that it's here, but manage it.
Koop's job is to regulate the now legalized drugs and distribute licenses to people looking to start marijuana businesses here in the first state. According to Koop, he is hoping to speak with more towns so that they're well educated before making any major decisions on weed in their jurisdictions.
I want to make sure they have as much information as possible, but it's up to them to decide what's best for their town, what's best for their citizens. The state's not trying to influence them in that sense.
Here are some of the major takeaways from his presentation tonight. The Office of the Marijuana Commissioner is estimating the first year's annual revenue from recreational pot would be close to $300 million. $42 million of that would go to the state thanks to a 15% income tax. Furthermore, the state is looking to give out business licenses via a lottery system, where applicants would be randomly selected. Koop's office has a busy couple of months ahead of them, as the deadline to finalize regulations for licenses is July 11th. And he says he's hoping other towns give him a call.
Wherever the next invitation comes from, that's where I'll be next.
In the meeting tonight, Georgetown Mayor Bill West made it very clear that this presentation was not a public hearing, but he did want to reiterate that the public will have plenty of opportunities to voice their opinions on this in the future. I'm Charles Reinert in Georgetown, CoastTV News.
Koop's office is taking a step to create rules for the recreational marijuana industry. You can share your feedback on the proposed rules for businesses that will sell it. This comes after the legalization of recreational marijuana for people 21 and older. That was last year. People have until March 29th to review the draft regulations online and weigh in.
Reaction after Delaware's Superior Court struck down the state's early voting and permanent absentee voting system. A Delaware Superior Court agreed with a lawsuit claiming the laws violated the state constitution, which says elections must be on a specific day. The lawsuit was filed by the chair of the Delaware Republican Party and the Public Interest Legal Foundation. And it's not the only rule against newer Delaware voting laws. In 2022, the state Supreme Court found the universal mail-in voting and same-day registration in the state was also unconstitutional.
State House Republican leaders say they agree with the decision, but important to note, they say they have no issue with in-person early voting. Their main objection was the statute that violated the state constitution. With that argument, they are happy with the court decision, saying, quote, "We applaud the court for validating the argument we made 5 years ago." Republican leaders say they'll introduce an amendment to implement early voting in line with the law.
Now, Delaware Democrats claim the decision will negatively impact voters, especially those who have issues getting to polls. Delaware's Democratic leadership specifically referenced low-income voters, single parents, and those with disabilities. Democratic Congresswoman Lisa Blunt Rochester saying, quote, "Free, fair, and more accessible elections make a stronger democracy. I will stop at nothing to protect it." And it's worth adding that the ACLU is urging for an appeal and a stay of the current rule so that the early voting can happen in this upcoming election.
Milford getting ready for some new electric vehicle charging stations. The stations will be placed at Northeast Front Street. Advocates of the charging stations claim it will improve downtown foot traffic and be an option for EV drivers on routes 1 and 113. Stations are being paid for by the Denrick DC Fast Vehicle Charging Station Program. This is through the Volkswagen Mitigation Settlement Fund that was launched in early 2022. And a ribbon-cutting event at the new stations is scheduled for March 6th at 11 a.m. U.S. Supreme Court weighing arguments in a pair of cases that could change how social media companies have been operating for decades. Certain laws in Florida and Texas seek to restrict social media companies from banning or censoring users because of their political views. The eventual ruling could lead to further litigation in lower courts as to whether the law should be blocked. The laws are currently on hold with a ruling expected by June.
An independent panel is recommending significant changes at Boeing that center around safety concerns. The panel's made up of Federal Aviation Administration officials and representatives from airlines, labor unions, and safety units at other aerospace companies. The review panel conducted more than 250 interviews, and they reviewed more than 4,000 pages of documents. The report released found employees did not understand their role in safety, and they also feared retaliation for raising safety-related concerns.
More news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Still ahead, dough rolling out. We'll tell you which location of the dough roller set to close and what locations you can still count on.
Also, Delaware State playoff brackets for high school basketball have been released, and the Delmarva Sports Network breaks down the local first-round matchups.
And too much salt, not enough land. We'll tell you what farmers on Delmarva are dealing with that's destroying thousands of acres on their farmland. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
I can't get enough of your love. I can't get enough of your love.
Delmarva's classic rock. Big 107.7. Take the DSN app with you wherever you go and never miss a game from your favorite local team. Whether you're on the road, stuck at the office, or out with friends and family, the DSN app notifies you when your team is on live, so you can watch the game as it happens or watch videos on demand. Keep up with local sports all from one app. From your mobile device to Fire Stick, Roku, and Apple TV, download the DSN app today. Driven by Preston Automotive Group.
It's now or never.
2 dead bodies in the name of free speech.
Nobody needs to die today.
This girl was targeted.
You come and see it by my daughter!
When you're undercover, one mistake and it's all over.
Can I go home now? That's not how this works.
Law and Order Thursday on NBC and Peacock.
Stay ahead of our ever-changing coastal climate with the Coast TV First Alert Weather Team. From the early morning to the late evening, our team is always at work to deliver the accurate forecasts you need. Whether bracing for a stormy day or enjoying a peaceful indoor moment, we're here to ensure you're fully prepared for Delmarva's diverse weather patterns. The Coast TV First Alert Weather Team. With us, the weather is more than a forecast. It's a part of life.
We're seeing a gorgeous sunrise on this Tuesday morning. Here's our Boardwalk Plaza cam. Sun just came up, looking at partly cloudy skies. 50 degrees in Rehoboth right now. We've got 40s and 50s across the border right now. Salisbury 48, Georgetown 45, 49 for you in Seaford. So a relatively mild start to the day as we have a southwesterly breeze. That's light right now, but it will pick up during the course of the day as we're looking at partly cloudy skies, and we'll be looking at increasing clouds as we go through time. You can see thicker clouds building in from the west. We've got a warm front lifting to the north, and temperatures will warm nicely for today. Here's your boardwalk forecast. Temperatures in the 40s early on and then warming into the 50s as we go through the morning into this afternoon. We're looking at temperatures into the 60s. Make sure to call the First Alert weather line. Call 443-880-9100. Your forecast just a call away. It's sponsored by Baird, Mandalis, Brockstead, and Federico.
Thanks, Bob. Farmers on Delmarva dealing with a unique but devastating problem. Thousands of acres of land being lost. This is due to saltwater intrusion. It's a growing problem for Delmarva farmers at sea level rise. Thousands of acres of farmland being lost as the ground becomes too salty and as invasive salt marsh plants spread inland. This massive loss of land is taking a toll on farmers along the coast.
It is an economic hardship. And, you know, anytime you take productive ground, and this ground here is extremely productive, you take it out of the equation, you're losing.
Planting native salt marsh species that can be in the end act as a barrier to protect the rest of the farmland from more saltwater intrusion could be one solution to this ever-growing problem.
This does bring us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, what is your view on saltwater intrusion?
Let's see, 65% of you say it needs immediate action. 24% of you see it as a climate change. Oh, now it's 22% of you, because 13% of you say it is a threat to agriculture. A lot of good options there. If you haven't voted yet, you still can. Go to coasttv.com or our mobile app. The Friends of Cape Henlopen State Park are gearing up for their next Trails Day event. The event's set for Saturday, March 2nd. Volunteers are invited to gather at the Herring Point parking lot by 8:45 for a beach and road cleanup effort. This Trails Day comes with a bit of a challenge. They want to surpass last month's record by collecting more than 150 pounds of trash.
A way to strengthen dunes along our coast. Beach grass planting in Fenwick Island and the Delaware Seashore State Park is taking place on March 16th from 9 a.m. to noon. Denrex says anyone can volunteer in assisting to help plant the beach grass.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good morning, sports fans. The Delaware boys and girls basketball state tournaments kick off tonight. And as things open up, it's time to break down a first-round matchup that we'll have live on DSN, Cape Henlopen versus Sussex Central. The Vikings will be the road squad. They come in as the 21st seed out of 24 teams in the tournament. Steve Ray's guys ended the season on a roll, winning 4 of their final 5 games to clinch their spot. Freshman guard Jamison Tingle earned all-conference first-team honors, leading the team in scoring despite missing 4 games this season due to injury. Down low, senior Jack Shell is second in scoring and leads the team in rebounding as well. The Golden Knights hit their stride in the middle of the season when they rattled off 7 straight victories. 2 members of the all-conference second team lead Sussex Central in junior David Maker and senior Clarence McBride Allen. These guys manufacture things offensively for the Golden Knights, and they'll have to overcome some recent history despite being the home team, with Cape Henlopen winning each regular season matchup this year. Tonight's game begins at 7 p.m. and our coverage starts at 6:55. We'll have updates on how things unfold across the entire bracket this week on DSN. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day, everyone.
Happy Tuesday, Delmarva. Here's what's happening today at 4 o'clock on Coast Life.
We've gone through our fashion, our style, what colors work for us. Up next, we're going to see what jewelry looks our best with our friend Gary Lewis.
So excited for that. We are also talking to BB Healthcare, talking about the stigma of eating disorders. They affect a lot of people on Delmarva. Could be someone you don't even know about. The stigma between boys and girls.
That's right. And we're also going to talk about another event that can help give back to our community with the Chef with Her Jam.
All that and more happening today at 4 on Coast Life.
Looking forward to that, and looking forward to a gorgeous sunrise now in progress on our Tyndall's Casual Furniture Cam. Mild conditions out there, temperatures in the 40s and 50s. Will continue with the mild weather and then increasing rain and wind as we go to tonight, and especially into Wednesday, where tomorrow is the first alert day. I'll break down the impacts on FutureCast coming up in a couple of minutes.
Tamron Hall knows what's hot. And we're finding out what's hot right now. And on the next Tamron Hall.
Is it time to put an end to the busy brag? We talked to the people who say being busy is not a badge of honor, and it's messing with our happiness. Plus, what's behind the growing movement of people willingly waking up before the crack of dawn? The surprising thing people are learning by waking up at 5 a.m. on the next Tamron Hall.
Tuesday at 3 on Coast TV.
Cheers to 50 years of the Players. Here's to the jaw-dropping Eagles, 60-foot birdies,
Better than most.
And that one pesky seagull. Here's to making an entrance. Making a statement.
It's not a shot you practice.
And making a splash. All at the PGA Tour's gold standard, the Players' Championship on NBC and Peacock.
Get the CoastTV First Alert Weather app with live satellite and radar, severe weather alerts, and extended forecast. Download the free CoastTV First Alert Weather app, sponsored by Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling.
These grandparents are getting it in. He just be hitting me up all day. That's it. And someone's getting major money.
Tuesday at 2 on CoastTV.
Weather brought to you by Coastal Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning, dedicated to excellence in Delaware and Maryland.
At Coastal Comfort, we know there's no place like home. That's why we're committed to ensuring total comfort for a totally happy home. As a premier Carrier factory authorized dealer, we're dedicated to providing reliable service and the best savings. Like now, through the end of May, with purchase of a qualified Carrier system, you can instantly receive up to $1,900 off. You could also qualify for up to $2,000 in federal tax credit. Coastal Comfort, a Carrier factory authorized dealer serving Maryland and Delaware. Carrier, turn to the experts.
It's now 6:45 on your Tuesday morning. We are going to check out the live scene right now in Rehoboth Beach. The sun is officially up, and definitely get outside. Check out that sunrise, right, Bob?
Absolutely. Beautiful sunrise right there, Paige. We're looking at a beautiful start to our day. We have a mix of sun and clouds with temperatures in the 40s and 50s. I'm happy to report you don't need your ice scraper this morning. No frost with temperatures well above freezing. And we're looking at, well, no frost as we go into the next couple of days. So looking forward to that, as temperatures right now are in the 40s and low 50s, 51 in Millsboro, 48 in Salisbury, Seaford 49, 52 in Lewis, 52 in Milford. So it's a mild start, and it won't take much to really get those temperatures going higher today. We've got a southwesterly breeze that's pretty light right now, and they will pick up throughout the day as we're looking at mostly to partly cloudy skies. Any kind of precipitation is offshore right now. We have a warm front lifting north. It looks like a trough on our map here, but it's actually a warm front, and we will usher in warmer air and moisture, and we've got some thicker clouds back to the west from D.C. all the way into the plains. Already some showers popping up through the Tennessee Valley. This area could be under the gun today for severe weather, and we'll be seeing a cold front developing to our west, and that moves in later tomorrow evening with wind and rain. That's why tomorrow is a first alert weather day. But today, not too bad. We're going to warm things up pretty quickly through the 50s this morning. 9:30, 57 in Millsboro, 55 in Ellendale. A few more clouds by 11:30. The winds start picking up from the southwest. Middle 60s inland areas. A little cooler along the beaches. Don't know about 40s. I think you'll be in the 50s to close to 60 along the coast, but mid 60s inland as we go through the day. And then after about 4 o'clock, I think we'll start to see some showers moving in from the south and west. Hit and miss showers right through the evening hours. So make sure you have your umbrella handy. Here's 11 p.m. We're still seeing the showers going there. And look how mild it is through the overnight with temperatures into the 50s and 60s. A very mild and windy start to your Wednesday. And you'll need the umbrella with more showers into the morning hours. Could get a little break into the afternoon while it's windy and warm. And here comes the main event, this cold front crashing in as we go into Wednesday evening. You can see all the yellow, the orange, and the red indicating heavy rain. Maybe some rumbles of thunder with this front as well. Then that advances to the southeast, but we still have some of that heavy rain going behind the front around 8:30. And we're seeing those temperatures beginning to fall through the 40s and still some heavy rain possible along the coast. And then it's moving offshore after that. But the winds really picking up as we go through tonight and tomorrow. 20, 30 miles per hour, maybe gusting over 40 miles per hour as we go into Wednesday. Make sure those outdoor items are secured or brought inside. Then the wind shift to the northwest and still windy behind that front as we go into Thursday morning, as we'll see about a half inch to about an inch of rain. Really depends on where that heavy rain lines up. Here's your Paul Davis 7-day forecast, looking at 66 today, and then the first alert day for Wednesday, especially for the evening with the rain and wind and maybe thunder, 68 degrees. And then much colder Thursday. Winter returns, 44 degrees with sunshine, 51 on Friday. And then by the weekend, more showers, 58 Saturday, 60 on Sunday, as we settle into more of a typical spring-like pattern. Then Monday, 58, mostly cloudy.
Bob, and for more weather updates, make sure to pull out your phones and scan the QR code for our First Alert weather app. You can download the app for free to get all the weather updates you need.
Coming up next Monday in Rehoboth Beach, the commissioners will be discussing the future of the Lake Gerard fishing pier. They're thinking about building a new pier just for kids to enjoy fishing. According to the city, the plan includes a gazebo and extending the pier, all within a budget of $200,000. This idea is still in the early stages, but if all goes well, construction may begin in the fall of 2025.
The Mulberry Landing boat ramp at Asselman Wildlife Area near Bethany Beach, it will close on March 6th. This is for upgrades, including enlarging and paving the parking lot that we're showing you on your screen. And Denrec says the ramps plan to reopen by April 14th, weather permitting. During construction, Denrec says the wildlife area will remain open with alternative boat launches available at Holtz Landing State Park, Indian River Marina, and Rosedale Boat Ramp.
The Dough Roller restaurant that's on 70th Street in Ocean City closing down. But don't worry, you can still enjoy their yummy pizza and their pancakes. I recommend the chocolate chip ones at their other 3 spots in Ocean City. The Gibbs family, who've run Dough Roller for 40 years, say they're excited to welcome everyone to their other locations. It is now 6:50 this morning. It's time to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
And this lovely lady on your screen right now is clearly not a morning person. I know some people who have that face in the morning. But this is Willow enjoying her day in her PJs. And as you can see, Willow was sent to us by Diana from Millsboro.
Well, I wish my hair looked that good in the morning. She's doing something right. All right, we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us more photos. Tell us what makes your pet so special.
She needs you got product going on.
I'm going to tell myself that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can scan that QR code at the top right hand of the corner of your screen, and that way you can submit your furry friends to us here at Coast TV News, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all of the pets we feature.
The sun is on the rise this morning. We're looking at partly cloudy skies. Here's our camera from Seaford Tidal Health Camp. Let's call it partly cloudy, 48 right now, and we're setting up for a mild day, a couple of mild days, and then we've got a first alert day for tomorrow for rain and wind, and then winter returns as we go towards the end of the week, and then by the weekend, we're looking at temperatures warming up again. Up and down temperatures, I'll track them on your 10-day forecast coming up after the break.
For every season, every weather moment, stay ahead with the Coast TV First Alert Weather Phone. Just call 443-880-9100. Your forecast just a call away. Sponsored by the law offices of Baird, Mandalas, Brockstead, and Federico.
I can't get enough of your love. I can't get enough of your love.
Delmarva's Classic Rock, Big 107.7.
Honesty, integrity, bravery. Here is what we can face together.
Incoming.
Let's go.
I've had this policy of not mixing my work and romantic life until now.
I have no doubts you will make a great leader.
It's like you said, Chief. Change is inevitable. I'm no good without the job. You know that.
You've got the team. I've got you.
Chicago Wednesday, new on NBC and Peacock.
Take the DSN app with you wherever you go and never miss a game from your favorite local team. Whether you're on the road, stuck at the office, or out with friends and family, the DSN app notifies you when your team is on live, so you can watch the game as it happens or watch videos on demand. Keep up with local sports all from one app. From your mobile device to Fire Stick, Roku, and Apple TV, download the DSN app today. Driven by Preston Automotive Group.
Dancing with your shadows. Dancing with your shadows.
I know I used to be crazy. That's 'cause I used to be young. Dance the night away.
1025 WBOC.
Jen, Bradley, and Margot, all the headlines, couples and candid moments from the SAG Awards.
Plus, a fight to the finish, my pick for best dress. I'm thrilled about this entire gown.
Next Extra.
Today at 11:30 on Coast TV.
It's now 6:53. It's time for some things you need to know before you go. Last night, Georgetown Town Council heard from Robert Koop, Delaware's first marijuana commissioner, about how recreational marijuana businesses would impact you and towns like Georgetown. His presentation included how business licenses could be improved, as well as the different economic opportunities for both the state as a whole and local towns like Georgetown. Now, as for when those licenses for marijuana business licenses could be distributed, Marijuana Commissioner's website says the next steps are for the commissioner to adopt rules for distributing by this coming July.
Berlin has made a change to the liquor laws governing events in the community. You'll now be able to walk around with a mixed drink in hand, the same way you already can with beer or wine. This includes events like the Small Town Throwdown, the Fiddlers Convention, and Oktoberfest.
Dredging finally complete after a month-long delay. This project moving about 40,000 cubic yards of sediment in Lewis. It's for the price of $1.8 million, according to the Army Corps of Engineers. Now that this project is done, Lewis is looking to do more dredging. Steve Roche with the Army Corps of Engineers has confirmed plans are underway for a separate contract focused east and south of the Freeman Highway.
Indian River is currently in the process of being dredged. Anticipated benefits include protection against flooding and erosion, enhanced wildlife habitat, and increased recreational opportunities. Dredge It, that's the company working on the project, says the work will be finished by 2025.
All right, Bob asked earlier, when are we going to talk about Taylor Swift again?
Well,
good news for Bob.
Yeah.
It's right now.
Right now. Turn up the volume on your TV, folks.
Crank it. A museum in London is seeking to hire a Taylor Swift superfan.
Okay, the Victoria and Albert Museum wants someone to advise their curators on her importance to the history of art and design.
The superfan should be able to offer insights into the culture and artistry around the friendship bracelets. The friendship bracelets that Swifties often exchange.
Yeah, as well as the handmade signs frequently displayed at concerts. Now, Paige, do you think Taylor's made a big impact? I know in these areas, art and design.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, but I wasn't thinking the friendship bracelets, honestly.
Yeah, but I get it. I get that as part of this.
It's you can't deny, whether you agree with it or not. It's a huge part of culture right now. So,
yes.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
Maybe you could apply for the super fan position.
I know several people who could apply for that.
Leah Rizzo, for sure, with Coast Life.
That's who I was thinking.
Were you actually?
Yeah.
That's so funny. And Bob Trihey.
Right, yeah. I mean, First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihey joins us with a final look at the forecast. And Bob, I always thought you were Taylor neutral, but I just learned something from Paige this morning about you.
Yeah, I was worried. We hadn't heard from Taylor Swift since the Super Bowl. And, I was a little concerned that, she's not popular anymore. And, maybe she fell off the earth. I don't know. But now she's back, and I'm glad she's healthy and jetting around and having a great life. Now, we are looking at a mild day for Delmarva with temperatures in the upper 40s this morning and then warming into the 50s. We're looking at a beautiful day, but increasing clouds later on in the day. Make sure you have your umbrella handy, not for this morning, but for this afternoon. I think we'll see some showers after about 4 o'clock and a high around 66 degrees. Paul Davis 10-day forecast. We have a first alert weather day for Wednesday, especially into the evening with rain, wind, and thunder. So we'll watch out for that. 68. And then winter returns for a couple days. Thursday 44 with sunshine, 51 on Friday. And then by the weekend, still some showers, 50s and 60s. And then we settle into a spring pattern again into next week with 50s and 60s and maybe some showers Tuesday and especially Wednesday.
All right, thanks, Bob. I'm still waiting for them to need a Justin Bieber super fan.
You know what? We work on that.
What's
you
up
and
with
I
that?
off camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's work on it today. Because the Today Show is coming up next. We can do it while we watch that.
Yeah.
And don't forget, we'll be back with Coast TV midday at 11. You can stick around.
Okay, everybody. Have a great Tuesday morning.